Ross, here is what Matt Brown and many others who cover college football put out today. The EA Sports Deluxe Edition, College Football 2025, Quinn Ewers, Edwards, and also there's Travis Hunter, Carson Beck. Guys, talk amongst yourselves. That's kind of a tease, and eventually they'll have the rest of them individually put out in the next few days.
Yeah, one of the rumored leaks is that Travis Hunter has his own cover. I think you might be looking at the main three right there in the front, if I had to guess, because that would track with what Matt told us before, that there will be multiple cover athletes at different positions from different conferences. Well, you have a quarterback from the SEC, a running back from the Big Ten, and a cornerback wide receiver from the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, that's if that's who it ends up being, that would make sense. Donovan Edwards, Travis Hunter, Quinn Ewers are all great candidates. There's a lot of other names that are on there. There's Milroe, there's Quinshawn Judkins, and then you see various shades of Carson Beck's there as well, next to the left of Judkins and Hunter. Those are the ones that you can spot name-wise. And then, yeah, there's Notre Dame, there's USC, there's BYU. There's a lot of other teams that are shown there. So if that's the three choices, then I think that would make a lot of sense. You cover different conferences, as you said, like the qualifications that Matt Brown had laid out that they would have: quarterback, running back, dual threat type player in Travis Hunter. That would go along with what kind of was rumored to be happening with the cover. So yeah, that's cool to see it just take another step forward, and to be at a place where we're now getting teases like this is exciting for a lot of people. So, it's going to be great when we see what the actual full-blown covers are. But if it's those three, then, yeah, that jives.
You could kind of see some of the uniform colors. There's like Jalen Milroe in the middle of all that, among others. Also, Matt Brown earlier today, in this case, Timeline, thing of the Timeline cares about, the streets are telling me that the final opt-in athlete numbers for EA College Football 25 over 12,800. 12,800, well above the total number of roster slots.
Yeah, so then you don't have to worry about your guy being in the game. Now you have to worry, you might have to worry about some guys not being in the game. If I'm low down the roster on, Sam Houston State, I might get cut. I might miss my spot. I might have to create myself.
What do you mean?
Well, there's 12,800 people that have opted in. There's well above the many roster spots that they have saved in the out in the build.
Gotcha.
So there's not as many. So there will people not in the game, but they won't be in the game because they're.
Well, that sucks.
A walk-on punter at Sam Houston State.
Well, I mean, if you're a walk-on punter, then you're probably not really, you didn't have great chances to begin with. So, yeah, I mean, that sucks for them. But, yeah, you can easily create your character. So I don't see that as being that big of a deal. I still find the Arch Manning opt-out to be the weirdest thing. I feel like that brought more attention for no reason than him just being in the game. And I understand the whole I want to earn it or whatever. But it's like, dude, you're just a backup quarterback on a video game. It's really not that serious. And I don't think the NIL money is so crazy that you are, taking money that you didn't earn or anything like that. So, he's the only major name that I've seen. Are there others that you guys have seen as far as major names that have opted out? I haven't seen anybody else. So it's almost like you made it a bigger deal than by not being in it than by being in it. But I mean, that's a nothing story anyways. But I just still find that kind of peculiar, that choice, because why not just be in the video game and have it roll along like everybody else? But beyond that, it seems like they've got everything that they've wanted, and plenty of players to choose from, and current players to play with. So that's all going the right direction, it seems like, as well, for this video game.
I sometimes forget that the schools that are leaving for the Pac-12, UCLA still has to pay a ticket, a fine, a toll for joining the Big Ten. To California, the California president recommending that the full throttle amount be used and paid by UCLA to Cal, which would be about a contribution, as Wilner put in his article last night, of $10 million annually to the University of California for their move to the Pac-12. That will be voted on, I think, next Tuesday between the California Board of Regents. $10 million is not a bad little figure. And then if you start, and then you'll start seeing the breakdown. How much is UCLA going to get? And then how much are they going to get minus $10 million? How much was it going to be in the first place before they left? But they're in the Big Ten. So they're in a conference where there's a conference and not on the other side of the country, although they'll be playing Maryland, Rutgers, and others along the way.
Well, those payouts are out there and they're public. We know that. And those payouts are out there and they're public. And yeah, that's a weird deal. Good for Cal, I guess, that they get their charity money for basically doing nothing and just being there and being, a historic university, I guess, on the West Coast that has the ability because of the Cal system to get this handout, basically. But, yeah, that's something that you'd rather not have if you were UCLA to deal with, but you're making enough money that $10 million is not that big of a – I mean, it's a big deal, don't get me wrong, but it's – you'd rather be them than be Cal receiving the $10 million handout, basically. So, yeah, you're still in a better place if you're UCLA.
Yeah, they call it calimony is what the term is out in the California Board of Regents. Again, it's $10 million annually, not just this first year. It could have been anywhere from $2 million to $10 million. Also, one other note on realignment, Missouri State is joining Conference USA. They become the 12th team in Conference USA. There have been, I believe, 6 FCS schools now that have moved up to different conferences since all hell broke loose in the summer of 2021 with Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC and all of the various things. The wheels have changed and spun around. Missouri State University joins Conference USA effective July of not this year, but next.
Good for them. And I think Grand Canyon and somebody else are just joining the WCC. So,
I saw that.
Yeah, a little bit of conference realignment news.
All right, here's another note.
We can't do it. We have to take a break so I can fix your ears.
No, I hear now.
Oh, you hear now? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That would have been nice to know.
I think you scared me into hearing now.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm good. God, what after yesterday and today? I mean, what we have to finish better.
Yeah.
Here are 4 teams who did not take anybody in the transfer portal. 4 schools, football programs: Army, Navy, Air Force, and Clemson.
Yeah, 3 of those schools are not allowed to take transfers because you need a congressional appointment to go to the school. So even if I wanted to transfer, say, from Clemson to Air Force, I would still have to go through official channels, and it's not even really so much of a transfer as now you're accepting an appointment to the, a military academy. I did a thing on this that's online that people can watch where I broke down a lot of Dabo's comments over the years on our channel, and it is – at this point, mind-boggling because he's got 100 different explanations for it. He has some good ideas about it, but he said this a couple of years ago or a year ago where he said, look, if I was at the school, some schools where I would have to take transfer portal guys, that might be all I do, but I don't have to do that because I'm at Clemson. Bro, Nick Saban takes transfer player guys. Kirby Smart does. All the schools around you in the ACC are doing it. Like, you can't, so Clemson is so much better than everybody else. You're better than Nick Saban there, buddy? You're better than Saban?
I mean, I don't think he's saying he's better, is he?
I don't think he's saying that, but he is just, I think he's doubling down on how well he recruits, which he still recruits well, but if Nick Saban is having to do it, then buddy, you're kind of missing the boat here.
Yeah, but he knows that. He's not like he's deaf and can't hear anything. He knows full well what the criticism is. So yeah, I don't think he's acting like he's better than anybody. Now, I mean, maybe he is to the extent of we're going to do it this way, and I'm going to show you guys that this is how it can still be done. And if that's the case, then maybe arrogance will jump up and bite him. Time will tell, but it is a risk that you're taking by not dipping in at all. And I know he's got his explanations as to why, but this is a different era than when they were winning national titles. They still had a lot of success last year. Still a top program, but you do wonder of how long he can go down that road, that lonely road all by himself when the service academies, the only reason they're not dabbling in it is just because the rules are different. So, yeah, he's on an island, and either he's going to be able to beat his chest and say, see, I told y'all I could still get it done the more of the old school way, or he's going to probably lose his job because he refuses to adapt, and they're not going to be able to keep up and be as competitive as they once were. So he's taking a bit of a risk, but you've got cachet when you've won a couple of national titles like Dabo has. So we'll see if he can do that again in this new era, but it is a different era than when he was winning those. So, it's a gamble for sure.
We'll have Jeremiah Dickey here momentarily, Director of Athletics at Boise State. Some sad news, no doubt, from earlier today. Jared Atkinson was a wide receiver that played at Baylor. Did not end up his career there. Monique Atkinson, his mother, passed away. She had been battling and fighting through cancer for many, many years. Was really in a bad place about a month to 6 weeks ago. She found a way to battle through that. I had texted Keith, her husband, a few times. He had updated me on Monique. We used to stay in touch quite a bit. She passed away. And again, cancer is a bitch. And so Monique Atkinson, there's the information, the memorial service coming up next Tuesday at the Sweet Home Missionary Baptist Church in Garland, Texas. If you want, I will help you. If you want, contact me. I can tell you about arrangements, flowers, and much more. But Monique Atkinson always had a smile on her face, even though she was hurting and in a lot of pain. She passed away from fighting and because of cancer, and our thoughts and prayers to Keith and the family.
A wonderful family, a wonderful lady. Jared's a great kid, and I mean, they've really been through it. And if you want a picture of someone fighting through and never letting it get her down, it was definitely Monique. We had her on the show several times. We had her on with Jared one time, and it was. I mean, she was. If you want to feel like I'm mad about this today, like you would talk to Monique and be like, oh, well, I don't have problems. Like, she's happy, I should be happy. Like, the stuff I'm mad about wasn't worth my time. And she was somebody who had great perspective on the world, and she will be sorely missed.
Yeah, she was a very sweet lady, very tough. She battled cancer for years and had so many ups and downs, like I'm sure you're all familiar with if you've had people deal with that in your family. And when it's prolonged and it's just never ending and you get good news and then a few months later it's bad news and there's the roller coaster of it all. She was certainly on a roller coaster ride, and just glad that, if anything, now she's able to rest and be pain-free and be at peace. But I know that's no consolation really for the family. So for Keith and Jared and the rest of the Atkinson family, just thinking about you guys. And I know it's been a long time of suffering and just having to deal with that you call it the B word, but that is what it is. It's a C word, cancer. I just that bitch that is cancer. That's just not fun. We've been hit with it here recently, and especially with the prolonged battle. And I know how devastating that is for families. And so I sympathize, and I hope they're doing okay. And Godspeed to a real angel.
Absolutely, she